In the last year, we have been blessed to be able to go to a community facility called EPI or Elkhart Plastics, and they have allowed us to walk through their floors, talk to anybody that would be interested in talking to us about anything. And they know we're from a church. We're invited because of that. The group that started in there was called Missional Chaplains, and they do it with all three of their facilities. And they've allowed us to go in, and they've given us no restrictions. They've given us no time limits. They just assume we're going to be intelligent enough to figure that out on ourselves. And in doing that, I go in on the third shift, and there are 20 people on the third shift. So I spend about an hour and a half a week in there just visiting with each and every one of them, taking notes when I need to try to just build relationships with these people so that we'll know from one week to the next I can build upon that relationship. Particularly one of the situations that I was involved with when I was there, I go from station to station and talk to each of the people a little bit at least. And I came to this one fellow that was new, and he intimidated me somewhat, partly because he was working very fast, and I thought that was a message to me not to mess with him. So I just decided to say hi to him and then go on. Well, I said hi to him. I said, "Hi, Fred, how you doing?" And he said, "Great." And I turned around and started to walk away, and he grabbed me by the arm, and he said, "Will you pray for me?" And that meant an awful lot to me. I thought, well, you're crazy. Why didn't you just talk to him to start with? And he had recently lost his wife, and so I told him I'd be happy to pray for him, and we started a relationship at that point. He is staying at the reentry center over in South Bend, and I asked him if I could bring him to church, and he indicated yes, I could do that if I followed some protocol that I had to do. I had to go over and fill out an application, and I had to meet with the sergeant, and I did that. And as a result of that, I was able to bring Fred to church, and actually I was able to bring him and another fellow as well. And another fellow from EPI, and they started coming to church with me every week. The blessing of that is that we walk into church now, everybody knows Fred on a first name basis, everybody knows the other guy, and he knows most of them. And we're just building great relationships that way, and they come every week. Jesus is certainly changing my life. He's changing my life in that I'm not afraid to talk to anyone anymore. I think many of us are or were afraid to approach people and talk about the Lord, but as I said, this church in itself is a challenge to them. Ask me about Jesus. I'll be happy to tell you about Jesus. I'm proud enough to wear it on my chest. My comfort zone has gone from inside these walls to the world. So I don't have a problem with that anymore. And what it's taught me about who Jesus is we're on this earth for one thing, to glorify God. And I think this is what these small communities and small groups do, is to try to go out and to glorify the Lord. I read Bill Hybels' book, Walk Across the Room, and it really had an effect on me because I felt like if I didn't lead someone to Christ when I first sat down and talked with them, that I was a failure. That is so far from the truth. It's unbelievable. In speaking with all of these 20 people on Wednesday nights, we're taking another step across the room. We're talking with them, and we're building relationships. We're learning about their families. We're asking questions. We're taking notes. We're remembering the relationships that we have with them so that we can continue to build on them. And hopefully it's really making some difference.